Jai Gurudev and Namaste. Thank you for joining us today to elaborate on the sacred wisdom shared by His Holiness Gurudev Shri Shri Ravi Shankarji titled The Five Secrets. Let's begin with the first, the Jnana Rahasya, or the Janma Rahasya, the secret of birth. Why is birth considered such a deep mystery? Yes, Jayavardhan, thank you for having me. Yes, Janma Rahasya is indeed one of the most profound mysteries. When we look at life, birth is not simply a biological event, it is the entry of a soul, a consciousness, into a particular physical form at a precise time and place. Now, who decides that timing? What determines the parents, the body type, or even the genetic configuration? It's not random. According to ancient Vedic wisdom, birth is orchestrated based on karma, the sum total of past impressions, desires, and tendencies of the soul. The subtle beings, the devas, and the laws of nature together facilitate this divine coordination. Even the nakshatra and planetary positions at the time of birth are synchronized to the individual's karmic blueprint. So, birth is more like a cosmic design than a coincidence. Absolutely, Gurudev often says your birth is not an accident, it is an appointment. In Ayurveda and Jyotish Shastra, we see how every aspect of our being, mental, emotional, physical, is influenced by the moment of birth. But why one soul is born into a royal palace and another in poverty, or one with a healthy body and another with challenges, this is all deeply karmic and hence a secret guarded by the cosmos. That is fascinating. Now, the second secret is the Marana Rahasya, the secret of death. Can you explain what makes death so mystical? Yes, Maran Rahasya is even more intriguing than birth. While science has studied life, it struggles to comprehend death. Death is not the end, it is simply a transition, the departure of the spirit from the body. But what happens in that transition? Who receives the soul? Where does it go? Does it rest, reincarnate, or merge into the universal consciousness? These processes are guarded by subtle laws and celestial beings, just as customs officials stamp your passport when you leave one country and enter another. There are divine laws and subtle beings, Yamadutas, Pitras, and Devas, who orchestrate this journey after death. Scriptures like the Garud Purana speak of the journey of the soul through various realms, but the exact experience differs from person to person depending on their evolution and karmas. Gurudev also calls it a highly guarded secret. Is it because we are not yet spiritually mature to understand it? Yes, that's an important point. True understanding of death can only come from deep meditation and inner experience, not intellectual knowledge. Gurudev often says that meditation prepares us for death because in meditation we experience the same silence, the same detachment, the same transcendence. Death is sacred, and in Vedic culture it is never viewed as an end but as a return either to another journey or to our source. That leads us to the third secret, or the Rajarahasya, the royal secret. What does it really mean? Yes, Rajarahasya refers to the secret of governance, both inner and outer. On the surface, it appears to mean politics or ruling a kingdom, but in the deeper sense, it's about how the cosmos is governed, how dharma is maintained, and how righteousness operates. This includes unseen laws that maintain order in the universe. On a human level, Gurudev explains that true leadership doesn't come from domination but from deep awareness. A real king or leader rules not through fear but through wisdom. Why do some leaders rise and others fall? Why do some dynasties flourish for centuries and others perish in a few years? These patterns are not merely historical or strategic, they are karmic, spiritual, and hence deeply secretive. So, is Rajarahasya also relevant for personal governance? Absolutely, self governance is at the heart of Rajarahasya. If you can govern your own mind, your own senses, your emotions, you become a true Raja, a master of your own life. That's why Gurudev often emphasizes Swarajya or self rule as the highest form of freedom. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna refers to this knowledge as Rajavidya or Rajaguhyam, the royal knowledge and the greatest secret. The fourth secret is Prakriti Rahasya, the secret of nature. We often think science has uncovered much of nature. Why does Gurudev still call it a mystery? Because the more we discover, the more we realize how little we know. Science has certainly mapped parts of the material world, but each discovery only raises deeper questions. For instance, scientists now speak of dark matter and dark energy, which constitute most of the universe but are still entirely unknown. Even at the quantum level, reality behaves unpredictably. Light behaves like a wave and a particle. Time dilates, matter vanishes. And behind it all, the rishis say lies Prakriti, the nature in her dynamic, intelligent form, which cannot be fully grasped by logic alone. Gurudev often reminds us that nature is not inert, it is alive, intelligent, and responsive. The Vedas personify rivers, mountains, winds, and even time, not as poetic devices, but as expressions of divine consciousness. That's why nature must be honored, not conquered. That's beautiful. And now we come to the final one, the Mantra Rahasya, the secret of mantras. This feels especially mystical. What can you tell us? Yes, Mantra Rahasya is perhaps the most experiential of the five secrets. Mantras are not mere words, they are vibrations, pulsations of consciousness. Each mantra aligns us with a particular aspect of the divine. The Om Namah Shivaya, Gayatri Mantra, Soham, or any kind of mantra, each of these unlocks dimensions of the mind and spirit. Now, why does the mantra have that effect? Or why does it calm the mind or elevate the spirit? That is the mystery. Scientists today are beginning to study the neurophysiological effects of mantra chanting, but the truth that lies beyond physical metrics. Mantras are nada sound vibrations that arise from shunya. The void, this power is felt in silence. Gurudev always says the mantra is the seed, but the silence that follows is the fruit. Mantras are properly received from a realized master and chanted with devotion awaken dormant energies and help us transcend the limited self. Gurudev also draws a distinction between how the West and East view secrets. In the West, as something shameful, and in the East, as something sacred. Could you expand on that? Yes, that is a subtle but important cultural difference. In the West, secrecy often implies hiding something unethical, but in the East, the word rahasya is synonymous with reverence. Sacred knowledge is not hidden out of fear, it is protected because it requires a certain purity to receive and absorb. It's like a powerful medicine, it must be administered properly under guidance. That's why these five secrets are not just concepts to be discussed intellectually. They must be lived, experienced, and meditated upon. And that is the hallmark of Vedic wisdom, not just information, but a transformation. This has been a truly illuminating conversation. Thank you for guiding us to the sacred landscape of these five secrets. Jayagurudev. Thank you. May this knowledge awaken reverence, inquiry, and a deeper connection to the self and the source. That is the true purpose of this divine wisdom Gurudev has shared with us. Jai Gurudev. Jai Gurudev, so you have given us a rich overview of the five secrets. Let us now explore each one with even greater depth, starting with the Janma Rahasya, the secret of birth. Can you take us further into how the soul chooses its birth circumstances? Jagadev, yes, Janma Rahasya is one of the most guarded principles in Vedantic cosmology and Sankhya philosophy. The soul or jiva does not randomly appear in the womb. There is a meticulous alignment that happens at the level of the causal body or the Karana Sharira, where impressions of countless lifetimes are stored before birth. The soul, guided by divine intelligence, sometimes referred to as Ishvara Chaitanya, and accompanied by Karma Devas, reviews its past life karmas and future learnings required for evolution. Based on this, the soul is attracted toward a particular set of parents, planetary positions, or grahadasha, socioeconomic background, health predispositions, and even geographical location. There are also vasanas or subtle desires that influence birth. If a soul has a deep unfulfilled longing for art, service, power, or spirituality, it may choose a body and family that can facilitate the fulfillment or transcendence of those desires. Gurudev sometimes says, you choose your parents before you came here. It may be hard to accept, especially in difficult circumstances, but from a soul's view, even hardships are learning tools. That's incredible. How do ancient scriptures or spiritual practices help uncover these secrets? That's a great question. Texts like the Brihadaranya Upanishad, the Garud Purana, Panchatantra, and Yoga Vasista speak of the soul's journey before birth and after death. In yogic practices, advanced meditators can access memories of previous births or jati smaranam. In fact, Patanjali's Yoga Sutras mention this as a siddhi. apar attained through deep meditation. Moreover, in the art of living through Sudarshan Kriya, deep silence, and hollow and empty meditations, many participants report a past life impression surfacing not as fantasy but as subtle emotional residues that get released, bringing clarity and peace. Let us now return to Marana Rahasya, or the secret of death. We discussed the transition of the soul. Can you elaborate on what happens after death and the soul's onward journey? Yes, at the time of death, the prana or life force withdraws from the gross body or the sthula sharira and moves into the sukshma sharira, subtle body. This subtle body carries the impressions, desires, and karmic account of the soul. Now, the journey begins depending on punya or merit or papa or demerit, the state of the mind at the time of death, and the level of spiritual evolution. In the Vedic tradition, this journey is referred to as passing through various lokas or planes of existence. There are mentions of Pitraloka or Swargaloka and Narakaloka and Brahmaloka and even Mokshaloka for liberation. Some souls take rebirth quickly, others may rest for extended periods before reincarnating. Gurudev explains that the state of mind at the time of death is crucial. If the person dies with peace, with thoughts of the divine, their journey is smoother. That's why in India we chant mantras like Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namo Narayana, or Ram Nam at the time of death to elevate the departing consciousness. Is this why rituals like Antyeshti, Shraddha, and Tarpana are performed? Exactly, these are not mere customs. The Vedic Dharma Sansthan emphasizes the importance of Pitru Kriyas. These rituals assist the soul in detaching from the material plane, resolving unresolved emotional cords, and finding peace. Gurudev often says, when we honor our ancestors, their blessings come back multiplied. Hence, these rituals are vital both for the departed and the living. Moving to the third secret of Raja Rahasya, the secret of ruling. What does this mean in the modern context of governance, leadership, and personal mastery? Raja Rahasya extends far beyond political rule. At the cosmic level, it refers to the hidden laws that govern Rita, the principles of cosmic order. It is through these subtle laws that the sun rises, the planets rotate, karma operates, and even justice is delivered in the human context. True leadership is internal mastery. Gurudev says, a good ruler is one who has conquered his own mind first. He often quotes Chanakya and Krishna to show that real governance is dharma based, not desire based. In ancient times, kings were trained in meditation, self discipline, and Vedic ethics before taking the throne. Today, the same applies. Whether you are running a company or a country, unless you can govern your own emotions, desires, and ego, you cannot rule others justly at a deeper level. Raja Rahasya also speaks of how even the divine operates secretly through time, how karma unfolds, how dharma is restored periodically, sometimes subtly, sometimes dramatically. Let's explore the fourth, or the Prakriti Rahasya, the secret of nature. You mentioned that even modern science is deepening the mystery. How does spirituality view nature differently? In the East, nature is not a subject to be conquered, but a mother to be revered. Gurudev often reminds us that each tree, each river, each mountain carries a spirit. The Rig Veda has hymns that address the wind or the Vayu, the waters, the Apaha, the fire or the Agni, and the earth or the Prithvi as sacred beings. Modern physics is now converging with ancient insight. Take, for instance, a quantum entanglement observer effect and string theory or vacuum energy. These are echoes of what rishis intuited thousands of years ago. The Prakriti Rahasya lies in the balance. Nature's intelligence is silent, yet infinitely powerful. Gurudev says, when your heart is sensitive, nature starts speaking to you. For example, birds, trees, and even weather patterns can reflect your internal state. Nature is not separate from us, we are extensions of her intelligence. And now to the most esoteric, the Mantra Rahasya, the secret of mantras. How do mantras truly work, and why is their effect often mysterious? This is indeed one of the most sacred areas of knowledge. A mantra is not just a sound, it's a sound body of a divine vibration. Every mantra is a pulsation of cosmic intelligence. For instance, Om Namah Shivaya resonates with the principle of destruction and transformation. Shiva, similarly, Gayatri Mantra invokes universal illumination. Each syllable of a mantra affects specific energy centers or chakras in the body. The vibration not only harmonizes the mind but also realigns the nadis or energy channels. Mantras are especially powerful when received from a realized guru because then they carry the sankalpa shakti, the power of intention of the master. Gurudev explains that sound is the subtlest form of matter and silence is the subtlest form of sound. So when we chant a mantra with devotion and awareness, we are tuning ourselves to that cosmic fluency and frequency. The real rahasya is not in the mantra, but in what it unlocks within you: peace, intuition, and inner light. This is a profound. How do these five secrets tie together in spiritual practice? That's a beautiful question. These secrets are not isolated, they are interlinked. When you chant mantras or mantra rahasya, you attune to nature or prakriti rahasya, which clears the mind, helps you understand your life's governance or raja rahasya, and prepare for the inevitable transition or marana rahasya, and ultimately rediscover the divinity of your own existence or janma rahasya. In Art of Living, Gurudev has crafted a path where these truths become living experiences through seva or selfless service, and sadhana or practice in satsang or company of the wise, and swadhyaya or self study. Thank you. This has been a deeply enriching journey into the sacred fabric of existence. Any final message for seekers? Yes, Gurudev says this creation is full of secrets and you are the biggest one. Let us not seek to intellectually conquer these mysteries. Let us bow down in humility, walk the path sincerely, and allow the secrets to reveal themselves in silence, Gurudev.